Well, will it be Joshua Schmidt here winning again, or can Leah stop the winning streak of the champion of so many previous tournaments? We shall see. Joshua did win the die roll already.
Absolutely, and this is a very good sign considering the deck he is playing right now. And I mean, Leah will just see it very soon as well. But yeah, the Vanquish Soul Canine strategy, very, very good, of course, in this metagame. A lot of players saw that maybe it wasn't the best, but still at one we see the Raisin now.
I mean, who cares, but that card is limited. If you just open it, it's so easy, and Joshua shows us how it's to be done. You don't have to question whether it is limited when it is just in your hand.
And that's very interesting because usually we want to start by the Noroi, which is of course a very, very good card going into the opponent, because you have the ability to not only special summon a monster from the deck, but also checking the hand. But here we start by the Resin. So we'll see if we are able to get access also to the Canine strategy in this turn. But very, very good start, being able to get access to one of the best monsters.
Okay, Molcharmy Fubulos. Decent answer from Leah's side here. Will that be answered from Joshua in any way, or can we resolve that also powerful card? Seems like it is resolving.
Yeah, I feel with this position here, you're not that worried about Fubulos. Yes, it will start to give a bit more advantage if you start to dive a little bit deeper into the second part of the Vanquish Soul strategy. Also, if you want to go into Rock of the Vanquisher, Infinite Impermanence as well.
Okay. I mean, that is good to stop the Raisin, but that also brings us down to only 3 cards in hand. And if Joshua decides not to play into the Molcharmy Fubulos here, maybe Leah is lacking engine then.
Yeah, but that's a very difficult choice, to be honest, because, I mean, the Resin is not big of an interruption, so you have to do something. And the Vanquish Soul field spell is, of course, a very good way to get access to the engine, because, of course, we'll be able to search, for example, the Holy Issue, which is such a great card if we get the attributes in hand to just take control or special summon from the deck. So, yeah, we will see in a minute what Joshua chooses. But, yeah, what will you do in this situation? Because if you stop there, I mean, you might not have enough interruptions to just stop the opponent, but if you keep going, you might make the opponent draw a lot of good cards.
The thing is, for the deck that Joshua is playing, for the Vanquish Soul deck, it is able to put up interruptions without special summoning from the deck, as we can just find a way to search for example, the Caesar Valiers or the Borger to draw into more interruptions that we can use from our hands. So I feel like Vanquish Soul Canine is one of the decks that can be okay into Molcharmy Fubulos, and that I think is also partly the reason why Joshua has brought it for this tournament.
Yeah, exactly as you said, especially with this Vanquish Soul Borger coming onto the field. We already know that Borger is probably one of the best kind of advantage cards, getting that a bit more hand advantage, being able to draw during your turn and then draw during your opponent's turn as well. Again, will really kind of limit the field presence of Leah as well. And I think that's something we want to be trying to focus on. As you've already mentioned, there are 2 cards from Leah's hand already. They will ultimately end up starting their turn with 4 cards. And a Dimension Shifter!
Hold on,
One of
though.
the best
We're
cards.
not even activating it, we're just revealing it.
Yeah.
Now, that is quite hard because Leah knows that it's coming, but she can't do anything about it. Does she really care, though, with the Maliss deck in her hands?
And that's very interesting because the fact that you are able to draw another card might just make you think twice about the rest of your strategy. If you draw an interruption, then you can just wait and stay on this Borger, but here we choose to go into the Link one. So you just give the opponent another draw, but it makes you have another interruption because you will be able to special summon the Raisin on the opponent's turn, and it is going to be a very good interruption.
Okay, Borger into the hand. Anything else, Joshua? Or will that be all? Because one thing that was so popular for the Vanquish Soul strategy back at the European Championship, for example, was the trap card of the deck.
Yep,
but
true.
This deck has developed, as so many decks do, and Vanquish Soul Snow Devil actually all of a sudden is not necessarily an auto-include into the main deck anymore, but there is a card that obviously is an auto-include, and can you believe it? Joshua Schmidt has actually drawn into both the Limited Razat and the Stake Your Soul.
See, I think this is very interesting as well because he's revealing a K9 Noroi, and doing so, it means that he ultimately made the decision between normal summoning out the Noroi or normal summoning the Raisin, and valued the Raisin well above the Noroi, which is actually very, very interesting to see this develop. But we also got to remember that the more we do this, the more we summon from the deck, the more we summon from the extra deck, the more advantage we're going to be giving back to Leah as well. And Joshua is very well equipped with exactly what he knows and exactly what he wants to be doing. And I feel trying to minimize the amount of advantage you give Leah back on this one could really help his strategy.
And I think Joshua also is very well equipped with knowledge about what Leah is playing, because Leah and Yuna, you usually see them in doubles, and you know that they're usually bringing the Maliss deck and working on that deck consistently to make it better. So Joshua just made the smart decision to not even use the Dimension Shifter, but have it as a dark monster that we can reveal off of our Vanquish Soul effects instead, leaving it in the hand there.
But still, this is a very difficult situation to be in there, because Leah will have a lot of cards in hand to try to deal with this situation. So it's not one for Joshua.
We actually decided to just summon out the Holy Sue and then bring it back into our hand, because that is what Stake Your Soul, of course, has to do. So our field here is only that, and we have another Infinite Impermanence, meaning possibly that Joshua will lack a Vanquish Soul monster on the field, but we just searched for Holy Sue, so at least that one can possibly come back onto the field. Normal summon Chassis Cat, and Joshua's like, yeah, I kind of knew that already. That is your deck. That deck has been in your hands for ages now, but there is Ash Blossom and Joy Spring for it.
Yeah, this is a very good way to use Ash Blossom, because of course against the Maliss strategy you don't have a lot of ways to use the Ash Blossom. Using a Chasey Cat, it removes two things. First of all, you remove two cards from the opponent's hand because you don't get to draw the cards, and on top of that you remove the ability to just extend with another monster. And here we can see the Impulse, and that is absolutely huge here. I mean, the Holy Sue is gone, the Link one is gone, and now I just wonder what can Josh do, because we are going to go into the game state where there is 3 bodies on the field with the Chasey Cat as well as the 2 other monsters, and now we can just go into the Link's replays and get access to the field spell with the Red Ransom. And I mean, this is a very good situation to be in.
Totally. The moment you get to the Link Freeze and Maliss is usually a start to accumulating advantage. Now we have the Druid's Worm sending the Rock of the Vanquishes as well. It was so important that we used those Infinite Impermanences before, because destroying the Holy Sue there is crucial.
I mean, yeah, I told you, it is pretty hard to be in this situation, and now we can see that everything is going well for Leah. Does Josh has anything else to try to protect himself? No, he doesn't! And it is going to be a very convincing game 1 here for Leah and the Maliss strategy. I mean, I was a bit concerned because, I mean, this matchup is a bit hard for the Maliss strategy going second. Of course, you have some tools, you have the Impulse, which is pretty good. But if the Vanquish strategy is going on, I mean, it is so hard to stop. But here, the Fuvalos, it makes Josh have to make a choice, literally, and he decided not to extend too much, getting access to the Holy Sue, but it wasn't enough. Thanks to the Infinite Impermanence, cutting access to the Resin and the Link one, and on top of that, we had the Impulse and everything with the Bystial to just get access to the 3 bodies on the field. Very, very impressive there, and what can I say?
Let's recap the last 20 minutes for Leah. You look at the pairings. You see you're playing Joshua Schmidt, previous world champions. You're like, okay, that's going to be a hard one. Then you go, sit down at the table. You're like, okay, let's be calm, let's be calm. Judges come over. You going on the featured match. So that's the next step there. And then you sit down, lose the die rolls. And you're like, okay, that's going to be a challenge now. And then you just win game 1 impressively like that. So that's a way to get into this action here now.
Yeah, exactly that. But you're currently at this stage right now. We're at round 7. You're also undefeated. You shouldn't be fearing anybody. Everything should be a challenge. You are ready to take on headfirst. Both of these duelists, as we've already seen, are well equipped. Joshua is no fool. He knows exactly what's going to happen now. He is no stranger to being 1 game down as well. And it is not over until that final duel is closed. So it's going to be amazing to see what both these duelists start to side in. It's going to be very interesting to see how Joshua approaches this now. Like you said, previously he had a bit of an idea of what he may be facing, but now he knows exactly what he's going to be up against. And I think we might be able to start seeing some cards coming from the side deck that could really enhance his strategy against this particular matchup. And as we've already mentioned, K9 Vanquish is quite a good matchup against the Maliss Bystial kind of lineup, and this is going to give him a little bit more advantage going into this game.
Absolutely. We shall see whether he will be able to turn this around, because he desperately needs a game 2 win here to stay in this match, to possibly stay undefeated. So we shall find out, is that going to be possible? Game 2 starts now.
And it's actually going to be very interesting because, yes, going first, the Maliss strategy is very good, but going second, you have to get the hands on those cards. The Dominus Impulse, very good, of course. And all those non-engine cards, which will prevent Joshua from getting his engine rolling. A good start would be the Noroi, of course, because the Noroi will let you see what's in your opposite end. And oh, that's very interesting. Jokul revealing another one. This is not the best thing, but it lets you get access to your K9 engine and to level 5, more importantly. And we are going to go into the rank 5 right now, so it might be the Ripper.
Yes. That is the Ripper, so a possible Mochami Fulos would have come down before that, of course, so we don't have to deal with this card that time around. But there is Ash Blossom and Joy Spring, which can just be negated, though, as it is in effect activating from the hand. Are we going to do that? Feels so easy, right? I mean, it's like an auto-negate, maybe.
Yeah, it does feel a little bit on this one, but I think Josh is probably more than happy.
I mean, I almost forgot. Game 1, we opened Rasen and Stake Your Soul and did not win, but we just opened the Rasen again here.
Yeah, I feel it's actually very important here because depending on what else the rest of your hand kind of contains, being able to actually use up the Ash Blossom on the Ripper does allow your other cards to be a little bit more free, especially when you have so many power cards in the form of Rasen and, of course, Stake Your Soul. It's going to be very, very important to see how this starts to build up from here, but I very doubt that Leah is finished with this hand as well.
Well, some people call that the World Champion difference, right? Just opening those one-offs one at a time here in both games. I feel like this game, it might be more important than in the first one, though. Oh, Leah is still looking at her hand, though. Is there another thing coming down here? Maybe a Fantastica Dragon Phantasma here on that Link summon. You never know.
But I think this is what's really important to keep Ripper around, though, because now you have a protection from something along those lines.
Absolutely, and now Josh is just going to get access to probably another Fire in the hand, thanks to the Resin, and he's going to be able to probably get the Surge out of Jiaolong. Yeah, we are going to special summon the Holy Sue, and what is great is that on resolution we are going to be able to just special summon from the deck and then special summon the Jiaolong from hand, and all of a sudden we get access to a whole lot of Vanquish Soul cards, a whole lot attributes, and this is where it starts being difficult for the Maliss strategy because of course you're gonna get access to a lot of interruptions and a lot of ways to deal with the field presence of the Maliss strategy. And, you know, the first steps, they are pretty hard for the Maliss strategy, going into a field, an established field. So it's going to be very interesting to see if there is another interaction on the side of Leah.
And now that we have the Vanquish Soul start again, as we had it in Game 1 already, post-siding, the debate about Vanquish Soul Snow Devil might become a completely different one again, as that card does not really find its way into the main deck anymore that much, but siding it as a very, very powerful going first option is way more appealing and might be something that Joshua has chosen to do here in this tournament. He is, for the moment though, just going through the Vanquish Soul motions. That is our Borger. We're revealing a Dark, meaning we draw another card. With this very deck, with the Vanquish Soul deck, he managed to go all the way to top 16 at the European Championship, falling just short to qualify for the World Championship, not only in Master but in the TCG as well. But this time maybe we can go beyond top 16 even.
Yeah, exactly. That's showing determination, never give up, never keep top going. Want to be pushing not one more further, but trying to go all the way to be the YCS Bologna champion. And this is exactly what he's going to need to do in order to achieve that.
So that is going to be Nibiru, the primal being, but there is, of course, the Ripper. So very well done from Joshua, not negating the Ash Blossom. Puts up a huge field that Nibiru doesn't do anything, but pay attention, it stays in hand, of course.
Yeah, of course, and we are going to get so much card advantage over here thanks to Borger. But we know that there is a card in Leah's hand, which, wow, that's not what you want to put there.
Well, it is a Maliss spell card, but that is Maliss and Underground that we're activating into the field spell zone, of course.
Yeah, not the best way to start things out, to be honest, because you would rather start with like a better normal summon or something like that, because, I mean, yeah, you're still going to banish something from the deck, but as soon as it hits the field, it is going to be destroyed or taken. The Dormouse is not going to stay long on Leah's field, to be honest.
Dormouse banished, and I mean, one thing, we did not activate the effect of Vanquish Soul start in the end phase. Yeah. Kind of signalizing, though, maybe that the one set card we have chose to set there is just already the hard-drawn Vanquish Soul Snow Devil very possibly. And I mean, destroying monsters against Maliss is so powerful, as like, if you can stop them before they go into the Ling free, which you can do with that trap so easily, they have sometimes a very hard time. Oh, Joshua already considering to use a trap card here.
I mean, yeah, this Dormouse is not going to stay very long, I can tell you that. But it is very, very, very hard, of course, for the Maliss strategy to just have those bodies stick on field. You have some tools against that, but here we are going to use, of course, the Holy Sioux. Is it going to be to special summon? Yeah, it is going to be the case. We have, of course, the card that we saw before, the Maliss in the Mirror, which sometimes is not played in the deck when you are going second, because it is not that much of a good card. But here, it will help a little bit. We are going to banish the March Hare. I mean, that's not going to give that much of an advantage, but still.
But it's still good that we didn't have to banish the Dormouse here, because Dormouse would not be able to come back as it already did. But now, Joshua considering whether he wants to go after this. Now the Rock. What are we going to bring out? That is Razen, but Razen not in the column of the Dormouse here at the moment. Carefully from Leah summoned into the zone where already the Holy Zoo is in. But there is Caesar Valius, which is just an easy answer still to that Dormouse. So as you were already guessing, that Dormouse probably will not stay around to use its effect here.
And one thing which is of course very good is that the Razen is in the other Link monster zone, so when Leah will go into something like, for example, a Link Goribo or something like that, I mean, it will get destroyed on the spot.
There we have it, all three different attributes. So bye-bye, Dormouse. You're now in the graveyard and will be hard to get back from there. 3 cards remaining in hand for Leah. Okay, the March here is one of them that we already know of.
Only one card is unknown, because remember, there is the Nibiru still in hand, so it's gonna be very hard. I can hardly imagine Leah winning there. It's gonna be, yeah, very, very difficult.
Okay, Maliss in the Mirror now proves to be a pretty decent card to banish there, as we can here banish the Dormouse, and we have not, as you say, normal summon, so that should just be White Rabbit, I would imagine?
I guess so.
We could go Chassis Cat as well if the last card in hand also is a Maliss, but it is the White Rabbit that we're searching for here. It's intense. Leah decides to go for the Link one, which will be the Ling Goribo, and that,
I mean, not gonna stay long.
Checks the trap card. Like,
it does trade off with the trap card, which I think is very, very important here. It now kind of puts a little bit of pressure on Josh, and the last card being that Wizard is going to really kind of make Josh think a little bit more on this one here.
Yeah, of course we are going to use the Razen effects as we just said before, and now we are normal summoning the White Rabbit, but I guess the trap card will get activated.
Can use the trap card here. Wizard at Ignister was revealed to be the last unknown card in hand, though. And Wizard at Ignister is the same as back at Ignister, right? You need an extra deck monster on the field to use the effect, so that would be the card that we cannot use, really. If we just stop it right here, right now, feels like a good moment. If this is Vanquish Soul Snow Devil, Joshua, maybe now is the moment to just use it. Oh,
yeah,
it is, of course. It just makes sense that it is that, as we did not set it. And Leah immediately picks up all the cards, tried hard to play into this field, but it is the Joshua Schmidt taking that second game. So we have the pleasure to watch them for another game here as well.
Yeah, exactly. This is going to be very, very important to now to see Leah, because for the first time in this duel, Leah is going to be able to go first and show what Maliss wants to try and achieve. On the flip side of that, this is where Josh really needs to start to think about what he could bring in to increase his chances of being able to interact with Leah's field.
Is there Artifact Lance there? Is there Chaos Hunter? Because I also saw Chaos Hunter actually picking up in popularity. Of course, in Vanquish Soul specifically, it's even stronger, as it is a dark attribute that you can reveal for your Vanquish Soul effects as well. So that could possibly an option in the side deck of Joshua. Don't know, not going to give it away just yet whether it is in there, but that is something that you could consider. I remember back at the European Championship that a lot of Vanquish Soul players were playing that card, and playing that card very successfully as well, with the deck being in both spots of the finals there, playing it out there with Lorenzo, ultimately winning that tournament. But on the other hand, I know I told you that Leah has been working on this Maliss deck non-stop for the last couple of months together with Yuna, and they kept on finding solutions. They kept on finding new approaches to how to counter cards like Artifact Lancer and Chaos Hunter. At this point, I think they mentioned to me, we have like 14 starters that don't care about Artifact Lancer. They're actually doing like really innovative things, which I hope that we can see here, because that's not just only a Maliss Bystial deck, but there's more to it. So I'm not going to say it just yet, but if you paid close attention to what they have been doing in the last couple of weeks, you will know that there is something else in there which we may see.
But yeah, there is not only Lancia and the Chaos Center, but of course, by itself, the Vanquish Soul strategy, paired with the K9, of course, is very, very strong against the Maliss. Back in the days, I mean, a few months ago.
Yeah, not that long ago, yeah, really.
A few months ago, it was very good going second because you had access to cards like Holy Issue, which is, of course, amazing because you can not only destroy, but also take control if you don't choose to special summon the Raisin, but instead take control. I mean, you just lose access to, for example, the Extender, which is a Bystial, or maybe convert the body into like a Linguribo and then special summon in the Ignister card. So I think this is some very, very strong things, and still, the Izuna is very good against the Maliss strategy. So it's going to be very interesting to see if Josh can interrupt the opponent and just prevent the opponent to just getting into this full Maliss field.
Yeah, I mean, we all know Joshua Schmidt has a special relationship to Cyber's archetypes. Is that relationship going to continue here, as he will have to go second against that Maliss deck of Leah here in Game 3? I am excited. I am ready to see whether Leah can just profit off of that going first ability here. And as players are ready, why don't we go into the action again? Game 3 comes now.
And indeed, the two players are ready. A last fist bump for this Game 3, and we're indeed going to see the Maliss strategy going first. So it's going to be very interesting because there are multiple ways, of course, to interact and to try to go through the opponent's interruptions. And one way is to activate Gold Sarcophagus. So once again, not the best starter right now, of course, but still, you can go full combo with it.
I mean, deep breath that you're taking there, right? Because a very, very awkward response to that would have been Artifact Lancia, but it was not there, so that's already a good start for Leah, because we can sort of already rule that card out. I think in Vanquish Soul, though, Chaos Hunter just makes so much more sense, so you're really expecting that rather, and there is, we talked about limited cards on the side of Joshua with him opening Razin multiple times. Leah now, not opening it, but also has her limited card on the field here.
See, I think that is very, very important. Gold Sarcophagus just did 3 hand interaction checks. It checked Chaos Hunter, it checked Artifact Lancer, and it also checked one that we haven't mentioned there, that is Molchummy Meows. For the pure fact that you're activating your Dormouse. So if Joshua has it, he might be very, very tempted to you, but he does have a different Molchummy on this one.
And that's very strong. The Fuvalos, of course, very strong against the Maliss strategy. Of course, you can go for a Hell Field, but you have to make a choice, to make a decision. And on the side of Joshua, that is very good, of course, because the Vanquish Soul strategy likes to have a lot of attributes in hand. And when you just have this Fuvalos going, you know that you have more chances to just get access to this Holy Issue, for example, or this Izuna.
I mean, it's only fair, right? Leah had Fuvalos in Game 1, so Joshua now has it in Game 3. Even playing field, and Leah debating on what kind of field we're putting up against that Fuvalos.
I mean, it depends on the cards that you have in hand. Of course, if you have a lot of hand interaction, then you can just sit on a small field and just end, you know, with like the Red Ransom, for example, and the spell card that we saw before. And you also have the access to the MTP07, which is kind of a decent way to interact with your opponent. And if on top of that you have access to the Impulse, for example, or some Ash Blossom, it is already very good. But if you don't have access to Impulse, Ash Blossom, or your non-engine, then you are kind of forced to go into more plays, and that's where it becomes dangerous.
So Leah carefully considering. I mean, we sort of need another monster if we want to get to that Link 3. So is there a normal summon we can use for that purpose? Seems like that is currently the plan, but it feels to be an awkward one maybe. Oh, this March here, I think that's alright. I mean, that card would have also been decent in the hand, but it will be used alongside the 2 other monsters to most likely go into that Red Ransom there. And there it is. Joshua draws a card for that. That's what Molchummy Fuvalos does. Will Red Ransom resolve now? It does, okay.
It does resolve, and now it comes to the decision of Leah. Do you choose to keep going and to go all in? Because of course, even if Josh draws a lot of cards, I mean, if the Maliss field goes uninterrupted, it is so strong that, I mean, you pretty much win the game on the spot. So what is going to be the decision? And it's going to be a very important one. We don't keep going.
Oh, sets one.
Yeah.
What do we have there? Oh, Bystial Bologna. Okay, I mean, that is another piece of interaction for the opponent's turn. Baldrek has a pretty good on-field effect, so I can't see it, but we can't really capitalize on that. Okay, I guess, yeah, we get the March here back. That's not too bad, honestly. That makes sense. Paying 300 here. First damage in the deciding game. Is there another card we can set?
Yeah, I think he's actually got to be very, very cautious on Leah's behalf here. That the issue with letting Joshua draw in a Vanquish Soul K9 strategy, we already know there are K9s involved, is that unlike other tiles of the deck, the Vanquish Souls, as we've already mentioned, they've got Holly Sue that can start to interact with you. They've also got the K9 Azuna. So what you're doing by giving them more draws over and over and over is you're giving them more ways to interact with you. Don't even worry about trying to break the field at that point. There's just cards that you need to be a little bit careful of that will interact to stop that field being built to its max potential.
Interesting, look at that here. We are using the hard-drawn GWC, banishing Red Ransom for cost.
I think this is the right choice, to be honest, because I guess we are going to go into another Link 3, the Art Scriptor, which is another way to interact with the opponent, and a very strong way because it doesn't target, which means that even with the Vanquish Soul being able to literally get back into the hand, still you will banish the monster on the field on resolution. So this is a good way to add some interruptions, and still you just let Joshua draw only one card.
Chessy Cat will be banished too.
Yeah,
and do we
better.
have now a good card to banish with that as well? I mean, we do have the Maliss in the mirror, right? So do we just give up on that as another piece of interaction?
I mean, you can draw two cards, which is of course great. You play a lot of non-engine, and we know that it's going to revolve around the ability of Leah to just
banish March, of course. We added that back as well, so we can keep the Maliss in the mirror, but we're getting two fresh cards anyhow. So maybe more ways to stop Josh from playing on the following turn. So, is there any more cards to set? Because we still haven't set the Maliss and Mirror. Should still be in the hand. But I think we're really debating whether there is value in summoning another extra monster.
I think you
value in summoning the Cryptor.
Yeah, the Cryptor, I think you have to summon it, to be honest. I mean, one draw for a very, very cool interaction, and the fact that it doesn't target, I mean, yeah, you'll take it any day, in my opinion.
Is it though? I think against Vanquish Soul specifically, that deck relies on having attributes and cards on hand. So I feel like against that deck, just the less cards you can give it, the more valuable it is. But Leah, I think, seems to agree with you.
One little draw only.
Seems to agree with you. But we're... yes, we are going to go into the extra deck. And that definitely, as you said, should be that Cryptor.
I mean, it makes sense, to be honest. I think the trade is pretty good for Leah. Of course, you don't want your opponent to draw a lot of cards being on this Vanquish Soul strategy. That would be a lot of cards, to be honest. So we decided to go all in, right?
Maybe.
We want to go into the full combo line, and that also makes sense, but that is kind of risky, to be honest, because Joshua is going to draw a lot, and I think he's pretty happy to be in this situation, to be honest.
Yeah, I feel the draws off of Chessy Cat might have actually made Leah change the way that they're going to play, but for the pure fact that those draws could then be counteractions or something to increase focus. And here we see Radiant Typhoon.
There is something else in this deck that you would not necessarily expect. One of the tools to play around Artifact Landseer, and this Radiant Typhoon Sven, which is one of the cards that is coming in from the side deck. So for going first purposes, there is a small Radiant Typhoon package in this Maliss deck of Leah, and we have also drawn into the Radiant Typhoon chant here. Activating that, searching for the other piece of the engine, which is Eldam, which quickly is summoned out as well. So basically the purpose of this package is, if you get hit with Artifact Landseer, these cards, without banishing of course, give you more ways to summon monsters onto the field, so you get to your Link Freeze easier. So we don't really necessarily need that here right now, as we already are well into our Link Freeze, but surely there's a reason why we're still continuing to go with these here. What are we going to turn these into? Leah, what are you trying to set up here? That's what we're all wondering about. taking another moment, going through that extra deck that was built so carefully over the last couple of weeks. But what is it going to help us with here right now? Are we maybe going, do we go to Cryptor? It feels like now that we have made the investment, Cryptor feels like something we should try to go into. But
Definitely.
it's rough now.
I mean, you have to go into Cryptor, you have to go into the full field, in my opinion, otherwise you're not going to be able to stop the opponent from playing. And Joshua, I mean, with already a lot of cards in his hand, it's going to be hard to stop.
That is a link. Oh, SP Little Knight.
So we are going to banish the binder, to be honest, here.
Yep.
And to be able to get another draw, try to get some more cards from the deck, because try to think about it. It's already a lot of draws on the side of Leah, and we are trying to see some cards to try to interrupt Joshua. It's all about this.
This is what I love, is the look of no fear. No fear. You're in round number 7. Both of you are undefeated. You are not taking this last game lightly. You are not playing it conservatively. You are going all out, even under a Molchami full loss. You are staring Joshua directly in the face and saying, if you want this win, you're going to have to take it away from me. And this is exactly what I love seeing in duels.
Pure determination here from Leah, not willing to stop, and continues to banish cards, and that white binder will not stay banished for very long as it wants to come back here. And yeah, that is going to be another draw with it. So Leah just keeps on pushing, comfortable enough with the deck, and look at that I think that card we just drew there, I'm sure Joshua saw that as well. Must have been a pretty good one.
Absolutely, and now I think that we're just going to convert every single body into like a hard Cryptor would be great in my opinion. And remember, there is also another solution in the extra deck. We can still go into the Allied Code Talker at Ignister, which is a very, very good card, as it is an Omni-Negate, and maybe we are going to see it. And indeed, it is right there. We are going to be able to special summon back the 2 Maliss monsters, which is of course very good. Now we have another layer of protection, and that is what Leah was looking for.
Yeah, and don't think Leah is doing any of this lightly. This has been countless hours of playtesting, leading to the decision that against the Vanquish Soul K9 matchup, maybe it is the correct way to play this, to just commit as much as you can, because even though the Vanquish Soul deck has a lot of pushes, it's not like more than 4 really, and if you can... If you can get around the 4 pushes, and I think we are trying to set that up here. That might just be the way to success. Bringing back White Binder, bringing back Red Ransom, big field, sets another card, which could possibly be the Maliss in the mirror, and that is our turn end here. Anything from Josh? Oh, okay. End of main phase, Joshua, saying that we still want to do that.
But remember, there is still the SP on the field, so we are able to just get rid of the XYZ, because before it just hits the field, you are able to banish, for example, the SP and the Lupus.
Oh, we're just negating it with the Allied Code Talker, though.
Oh, that's interesting. I mean, we value the fact that we don't want the Izuna to just get on the field, and we banish it, which is, of course, something good.
Okay, Joshua still not ready to go into his turn, but now we're hitting turn number 2, and that of course also means that the Allied Code Talker resets its negation ability, so we can negate another card. So even though Joshua was able to draw so many cards, maybe we will be able to stop all of them eventually.
And on top of that, by doing so and negating on your own turn, you are able to get the Lynx tree in the graveyard, which is what you want, because sometimes you are not able to get those Lynx tree in the graveyard unless you use your Allied Code Talker negate on something suboptimal. So here, I mean, we take the best, and we finally see the normal summon of No Worry, one of the best normal summons, going first, but going second, I mean, it is fine. But will it be enough? That is the question. We are going to consider activating the spell card.
Is that Maliss in the mirror? It would make sense if that is. Yep, it is. We're just trying to negate the Noroi, and I love this. It's down to the wire here. Leah gave it her everything, and Joshua now has to invent a way to break this Maliss field if he wants to stay undefeated in this tournament. Red Ransom ready to come back. Leah lowering, of course, her own life points, now almost at the halfway point there, lowering her own life points to 0. So Joshua, with of course having Heavy Borger in his deck, might also win a game like that. with a surprise. So having low life points against that deck can be a bit tricky, but I think GWC is still set there, so that could still be a way to get our life points back up a little more healthy.
Yeah, exactly that. I really do like the way that Leah approached this one, because when you do figure this, and this is something that you've mentioned previously, by researching the format, knowing the format, knowing the competition, you could actually take a very well-educated chance and knowing that a Vanquish style strategy wants to play with more monsters because, exactly as you mentioned, they want those attributes. So the amount of space for the spell and trap field breakers that we like to consider, stuff like Raigekis, lightning storms and everything else like that, are probably not going to be fitting into those side decks. So when you try to take that into account, when you're trying to settle these points, which is probably why Leah decided to push into the Molchami Full Loss, because the worst thing that Joshua could have possibly drawn in that one would have been a Holy Sue, or as we saw, the K9 Azuna, and by that point Leah already well and truly had the answer to those cards.
Oh, he still drew to Stake Your Soul. Which is a pretty good draw.
All, right?
I was about to say there are not that many ways to just extend from that point. You still have the Jokul, of course, which is able to special summon itself and another level 5, or you have something like the Holy Sue, but a Stake Your Soul is also there, still at 1, but in Josh's hand.
It is a high-stakes duel here with an undefeated record being on the line, and therefore only fitting that Josh is also now staking his soul for it.
And it's going to be very hard for Josh, to be honest. I mean, that was probably the correct decision. It was the right decision from Leah to just play and go through the Molchami Frivolos. You gave a few draws, of course, but your field is so much stronger and very scary.
And I think also what this is producing is that you're just creating a more complex game state. Because yes, your opponent has more cards to play, but that also gives them just more decisions to make. I'm not saying Joshua Schmidt is struggling with that, because if somebody can make good decisions in Yu-Gi-Oh! It's probably Joshua Schmidt, but I like the approach as well from Leah, just saying, hey, you have to really make this work, and you just like, because when you just don't commit into it, if they have the right cards and you're just on so little cards, it will be very tough for you, so you took the chances into your own hands, and I think we're letting this resolve. Yeah, it seems like it.
And all of a sudden, you can see on the top right of the screen that there are only 14 minutes left, and yeah, it's been a lot of time on the game 3 because the game state is kind of complex, as you just said. So yeah, it's very interesting to see that both duelists are taking a lot of time to just think carefully about their action and how they want to perform against their opponent.
Yeah, exactly. I think this is great viewer experiences, because what you should be doing when you're watching duels like this is you are seeing two absolutely incredible duelists go slugging it off back and forth, seeing all these different interactions, and you're seeing exactly how these can be navigated. So if Joshua is attempting to break a field like this that Leah has expertly put together, it's going to be taking the best of the best in order to do so, and it's just absolutely amazing to see this go on and on and on. And this is exactly what duels should be. A lot of back and forth, a lot of interactions, and it really does become a very good mind game as well, by being able to strategically think your way around trying to interact with all of these disruptions.
Yeah, but honestly, still, Leah didn't waste a second on activating a damn TP.
Yeah.
It took her so long, and she made so many decisions to create this field, but that was just for her a no-brainer now to say, hey, I don't want you to have a Vanquish Soul monster on the field. Get that Dr. Madlove out of my sight.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Of course, I told you that the fact that you can banish without targeting is very, very strong against the Vanquish strategy, because you can just get rid of all those bodies. And the fact that, yeah, now the Madlove is out of the equation, and there are not a lot of ways to special summon back some Vanquish bodies. I think the last way is literally the Holy Sue, but you need to have the Holy Sue and the Vanquish Soul card, so it's going to be very hard. So yes, there is not the Hard Scripter in rotation, but still the MTP doing a lot of work over here, and I'm kind of scared here for Joshua. We still have access to the Jokul to try to extend, revealing this Holy Sue!
This is actually really big, because we know that there's a Lantern in the hand as well. Jokul, Holy Sue, Lantern. Very, very interesting information that Leah now has.
I mean, we were worrying about getting a Vanquish Soul monster onto the field. We stopped that Dr. Madlove to be on the field so carefully, so now just getting that Vanquish Soul monster on the field for free with the Jokul is so good.
Do you want that to resolve, to be honest? I mean,
no.
You have to stop it, I agree.
But on the other hand, I mean, if there is another Vanquish Soul monster in the hand and you can just special summon the Holy Sue, you are not in a great position as well. So it is a tough situation, and Leah is thinking twice about it. Does she want to interact with this Jokul effect?
Oh, Dominus Impulse would have been so nice here, right? Just Dominus Impulse to stop this would have been massive, but no, this game, there is no Dominus Impulse. So Joshua gets to resolve the Jockle and is accumulating level 5 monsters on the field here.
But still, the allied code Talker can activate its effect, and I think that's huge. So holding onto this interruption is, of course, very, very clever on the side of Leah. I think so.
Yeah, I think you do need to be very, very careful, though, because I feel with Jockle now in rotation and Holly too, all it takes is for one of those, or even K9 or Roy, to hit the graveyard, and then Lantern is now online. So you have to play these very, very cautiously.
And we used SP Little Knight in response to the Jockle, making sure that the next Vanquish Soul monster is hitting the banishment. Joshua's Vanquish Soul deck is all of a sudden turning into a Maliss deck as well, just banishing all of his Vanquish Soul monsters there. But let's see whether Joshua will allow that, or is there a response to it? It's really, like, it's fun to see these two players just going into the thinking tank over and over again. Just every decision is made so carefully. Time, though, is getting lower and lower. We're hitting the 10-minute mark any second, but we are able to search for Izuna.
Yeah. And that's great, but to be honest, I love those games. I really love those games. The fact that they're seeing so much about every single interaction. We can literally see the brain like burning, literally. And I mean, it's gonna revolve around some small decisions, small interactions. Can Josh just extend a little bit more?
He is definitely trying, and I also love with this match taking so long, the message has gone through the venue, all the Joshua Schmidt fans gathering here, watching this match. Want to see, of course, what this prominent content creator of the Yu-Gi-Oh community is able to do here, and he is right now trying to make it happen here so badly, but Leah is doing her absolute everything to stop that.
Yeah, exactly this, and I think that the next play we make, it could very well be negated by the Yellow Code Talker, but at the end of the day, what we're trying to achieve here is get that level 5 to the graveyard. Lantern then becomes back online. That can then start open up a little bit more doors for Joshua, and we know that allowing that Holly Sue to be banished, he may still have another trick up his sleeve as well.
True. Yes. Oh, we are going to get access to the Jack, which is, of course, very interesting there. Getting access to, I mean, we are going to put another monster in the graveyard.
K9, 66X, Jax. That one you don't see that often. That one was in the release wave of Noroi, of course. Noroi we see basically every game a K9 deck is playing. The Jax, though, not that much.
Still very interesting in that position because we forced the allied code Talker negate, and now we are free of it. That's what Josh wanted during the whole turn.
Oh, but there's Bystial Druid's Worm once more for Leah, making sure to banish that White Binder from the graveyard.
This could be massive because the White Binder effect to banish those level 5s from Joshua's graveyard will completely shut off Lantern. Very, very well played here.
Leah was just waiting for those level 5 monsters to hit the graveyard, knowing completely what she wanted to answer it with. White Binder ready once more to just negate, but maybe there's an Ash Blossom on the side of Joshua. Remember that White Binder can be Ash, as it is also able to draw cards.
Absolutely. Will there be an Ash Blossom?
Not a quick effect. Well, there's
there's no monsters. You're right. You're right. Yeah. Absolutely. We got carried away here.
But there's
Leah,
the March Hair.
It has March Hair anyhow. But that Druid's Worm, that's what. Like when you see it, you're like, oh, that Druid's Worm is nice. But Druid's Worm only is a quick effect, of course, when there is monsters on the opponent's side of the field.
True that.
Joshua was also not even questioning it, right? Like when you're in the zone, when you're in the moment, sometimes you're not even, because they're both very high-level players. So you're like, yeah, sure.
We see the bigger picture, basically.
Yeah. But like you said already, March Hair is going to do the exact same job that we're trying to achieve anyway. We now know that there is a Bystial Druid to be a little bit aware of on this one. But we are still going to be, I assume, targeting those level 5s in the graveyard and getting them out of the graveyard.
And also there was no Ash Blossom on the White Binder banishment effect, so it will be able to do that just now.
Yeah, and that's absolutely huge. I guess that we are going to banish of course, another Maliss monster, so that we get a little bit more follow-up. And that's what's very strong about the Maliss strategy. Of course, you have a strong field, but on top of that, you have a lot of free spots and also a lot of ways to just start again during the turn 3. And that's what it is all about during this turn.
Oh man, Carefully playing is all good and fun. It's usually the way to go. It can be a little dangerous, though, when you're at 6.5 minutes left on the clock. I think we have to get this a little quicker here if we're trying to avoid a double loss. Leah is resolving the white binder. All of the Vanquish Soul cards have left the graveyard, or also the K9 cards. Okay, Zuna will search. Now gets us a K9 to the graveyard again, of course.
I mean, this is a way to get into the XYZ 5 because we are going to get the Lupis on the field, which is of course very, very good. But the question is, which X's you just make there, and is it enough? Because we see that Leah, look at all those cards in hand. Like, look at the follow-up. This deck draws so many cards, and on top of that, you are able to just get back during the turn 3 on all your engine.
Oh, we have to send the case for K9. What's going on here? Where is the Lupus?
It must be in the hand. Surely all of those draws have actually turned into a bit more of a detriment. Being able to draw into the K9 Lupus means you don't get as much advantage. But I have absolutely loved how Josh has completely navigated this, because every step he's taken has been to draw out a hand interaction to get the Azuna into the play. We still have Lantern. Is there going to be any more interactions from Leah to stop Lantern giving any more field presence? As you've already mentioned, 2,900 life points left as well.
Drake there again. That's huge, because with the Druid's Woman hand, this could create multiple interruptions.
Yeah, this is, as you've already mentioned, absolutely huge, because what it does, it will shut off access to any XZ's monster trying to come up from Joshua's extra deck. Then, even if you do want to try and go into Lantern, you still have Druid Swarm that could then come down into the field of play. It is looking very, very good for Leah right now. I
mean, I think that one way out was probably the access to Zeus. It would have been great, but the fact that the Baldrake hit the field, it's going to be very hard to get access to the Zeus, and I don't see Josh getting the victory there. I mean, it's going to be so hard. Like, look at the field. 5 monsters on the field, still a lot of follow-up, and not many cards that you can still activate on the side of Josh. And indeed, I think that the decision to play during the last turn was the right decision.
Seems like it, but the thing though is, you were saying Zeus could be a possible way into this, and with the Lupus protection, the Baldrake could be
targeted.
You are right. It targets.
Possibly this might still be a way to do this, but we shall find out. We are going into this Exceed without fear, because Lupus protects from the Baldrake. I was praising the Baldrake, but it doesn't do too much here. Goes into Nash Knight.
And it's great actually, because you can just get rid of something, and it is going to be the case here. We are going to
we've got the target protections now gone.
Yeah.
It is. But we are resolving, because it would have been on the summon, so the Baldrake is gone.
Yeah, we get rid of it, and now we are probably entering battle phase, I guess. Or we
go one step further.
Hold on. How much damage can we create here? With the CXYZ Nash Knight, it's only 2,600 for Leah. Is Joshua pulling this out of the hat here all of a sudden, using the effect also of the CXYZ Nash Knight? How much damage can this be? Is this really where Joshua is surprising us all once more?
With only 3 minutes remaining on the clock, can Josh win the game right there? It would be absolutely amazing. We are going to force the WCO6, but we have the Ghost Bell in reaction, and that is a great one here. Josh, can you do it? Can you get the victory after an almost full field of Maliss? We have the Lantern, and the Lantern will be able to get back access to the Lupis. So now we can get to the XRZ plays, and we still have the protection of the Lupis on the monster that we are going to get on the field. That's great.
It felt hopeless for a moment, but Joshua now, with also the speed that he needs to possibly still make it happen, looks like he could actually turn it around here, even going second. Oh my, 2 minutes and a bit. We need to make this happen, but it needs to be fast. So, what is another rank 5 that we even have? We're in the battle phase. We are in the battle phase, clearing all of those monsters, getting some damage in, but that ain't enough damage to win the match here on the spot.
What's going to be the following step? Yeah, of course, we are going... I think so, something like that, yeah.
Maybe
Ripper.
Would be a
great step, yeah.
Yes, K9 Ripper. Is there any possible way to get to a heavy Borger here and then use it on our turn on the opponent's turn?
There is the Zeus. There is the Zeus, of course, yeah. and now we are going to get back the Holy Issue, and that might be
It's the end
enough.
phase. It's the end phase here.
Yeah.
But that means we can only, at best, use the Heavy Bogger once on Leah's turn, so that would not be enough to win the game
But remember, we have access to this Xyz on the field. The number C104 would be absolutely amazing because we are able to just halve the life points of the opponents.
You're right. It needs to be quick though. Access code talker, super quick from Leah now.
1 minute left on the clock. Who will win this game?
Did Jerusalem just target Zeus?
I think there's a lupus underneath, right?
Yeah, there is, correct.
So that won't work. So, not
There's
even
so
a
much
minute.
tension.
Not even a
Send in the Holy
minute.
Sue.
Okay, so we did target the Holy Seal then.
Zeus to clear on resolution.
It does. Bye-bye, big link monsters. I'm giving back the ball, Drake. Leah, anyway, to extend here. If yes, it needs to be so
Maliss.
quick. Maliss in underground, but we only have 1,200 life points. Can we actually do it?
30 seconds on the clock and 1,200 life points on the clock. We are going to get back the white binder on the field, but will it be enough? Will it be enough to win the game? Only 300 life points remaining, and we are going to attempt to banish the Chessy Cat. We are checking the graveyard of Joshua Schmidt. Will she be able to win it all, or Joshua will get the game?
Who has won it there? Who gave up? I can't even tell. I think it is Leah defeating Joshua there in the end. Big sportsmanship just before time is over to make sure this is not a double loss, but instead we have found a clear winner for this match. And what a match that was.
It was absolutely amazing. I mean, I couldn't even talk. I was speechless because, I mean, I saw that Josh, it was over for him, but all of a sudden we saw the Lupus play and the fact that you couldn't target it, and we saw the way he was playing. The number C104, which could have given him the victory as well. And, you know, with so little time remaining, taking a lot of time to try to think properly, to take the right action and try to take the right decision. And yeah, you get the victory after all that. I mean,
just to make sure,
game.
Leah must have won, right? Because I'm just wondering in the game state, like, we don't even have life points to activate the Chessy Cat anymore. Like, what are we doing from there, really? So we actually, like, I'm curious about that. Like, one of them showed big sportsmanship there for sure. We can definitely agree on that. But I think it wasn't necessarily 100% clear who would even win there in that position, because 300 life points, like, that is not really
enough.
a state to be in for the Maliss deck. So I'm not even completely and entirely sure, but we definitely will find out, that's for sure.
It showed great sportsmanship between both duelists, but it also showed exactly the willingness of neither duelist being able to give up. Joshua tried his hardest to win that game 3 outright. It was absolutely amazing to see everything that Leah put forward for him on that field. Then Joshua trying to play for it, everything else like that. It shows true mastership of both decks as well, which is absolutely incredible to watch. I feel that if you're a duelist at home, a young duelist at home, or anything like that, you should be watching duels like this. You will be able to learn just general interactions, being able to know when to hold stuff back, and one prime example, when to play through a Molchomi Foolos, when to kind of decide that you have enough cards in your hand to pull a field apart that may not look as easily breakable as you might think, but you do not give up. You keep going and going and going and going, and eventually you will be able to get there. It's been absolutely amazing watching this round conclude.
And I mean, one sure thing as per usual, when you bring Joshua Schmidt onto the game stage, you already know that you're going to be in for a treat. And once again, he has delivered with a very cool match. But of course, we also have to give it to Leah, because Leah really made some very good decisions in that match. Really, you could tell how experienced she is with Maliss, has been working on this deck for so long together with Yuna, and now maybe for this tournament, it is Leah's turn finally instead of Yuna, because Yuna has been at the World Championship, first after the Swiss of the World Championship, so this tournament may be the one for Leah instead. Will be interesting to see, we gotta say that. But still, like, I am curious to see who's going to be in the winner's interview, because I am still not 100% sure.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure as well, because of course, I mean, 300 life points is not a lot, and you cannot do a whole lot, to be honest.
Access code talker was gone as well.
Yeah.
Like, what are we going into?
So maybe Josh won the game. We are going to see that of course in a few moments.
You can set back GWC, and GWC gives you life points.
Is right.
But how do you get another Maliss monster onto the field then? It's not that easy. It's not that obvious, that's for sure. But I do feel like like Leah was one on in the end winning it, but we will of course get confirmation for you the very latest when we are seeing that winner's interview. Our backup feature match already has concluded, as this one went all the way down to the wire, so we will not have a backup feature to show for the moment. But of course, we do have a winner's interview with Leah. I now can confirm it was Leah, and Joshua showed great sportsmanship. Not only a great player, but also a great sportsman, and therefore it is Leah with Maliss still being undefeated here at YCS Bologna. 7-0. That's the score you want to have at the moment. That's the score of champions. That's the score that definitely brings you in a good position to possibly make it to top 8. Topping that kind of a tournament nowadays is even harder than it has ever been, with only those 8 people making it to the knockout stages. So you cannot afford to lose a whole lot of matches over 15 rounds of Swiss. So now almost at the halfway point with having 7 out of 15 and not losing a single one. That's a good start.
Very impressive. Yeah.
I mean, that was a very, very good start. But yeah, the fact that this duel went for so long and this game 3, the way to win this game 3 was absolutely amazing. It's going to be amazing as well to hear from the winner with Alberto right now.
And here we are. Honestly, what a match it was, Leah. Congratulations, because I mean, being on future match stage against Joshua Schmidt is, is no joke. But I think you made an incredible job. What a match it's been. So first of all, how you feel?
Relieved, first off. I mean, Joshua is quite the player, quite the accomplished player. He plays really well and doesn't do many mistakes, but I think I made the right choices at the right moments and had a little bit of luck, so I could bring it home, yeah.
I mean, I also feel like in game 3, it was super close. I mean, I will show you some clips very soon, but I also feel like at the very end of it, I think Josh recognized you had more than him, and you also brought it home. So 7-0 record, so I think you must be feeling good, right?
I mean, I plan to go here and all 3 drop so I can watch my team, but didn't work out. I'm also glad with this one, so yeah.
No, I mean, just to go a little bit quickly. So essentially in game 1, I think you had a very good hand, I would say. I think you had a very good hand in game 1.
Yeah, I definitely had a really good hand, especially with all the interactions I had. I could push through a lot, and yeah, he didn't have a good hand, and that's what in the end decided it. And the moment I saw that he used his one disrupt he had, I knew that I won because I still had a Marcher. I had 2 Marchers in hand and a Bystial, so that's pretty much always won. That's pretty unlosable.
How do you usually feel about the matchup against Vanquish? Or how is it for you with Maliss?
It feels pretty dice roll dependent because of the K9 cards. It's really hard to push against those, especially because of your Bystials and your Edicnister cards all come from the hand and give your opponent the option to use the Zuna. But if you can push through and get the Maliss quick play, you usually can stop the opponent from Izuna or other disruptions there, and that makes it pretty easy then.
And I think also I just want to show you for game 2, essentially it started with 2 Jokel, and once again he had the Raisin. I think he had a very, very good hand there.
Yeah,
right?
game 2 was pretty much unwinnable. When I saw the Raisin, I thought, oh my god, second Raisin in 2 games? It's at 1, come on! But yeah, I just let him play, see how far he goes, how far he gets. If I can push into it, obviously I couldn't with all those cards. And then scoop for game 3 because I do want to have time.
Yeah, I mean, I think there was plenty of time. I think something around 25 minutes. And for game 3, I wanted to ask you something because essentially game 3 starts and Joshua has Fuvalos. So, what was the plan?
I mean, my plan was get some disruptions, maybe just Crypto or just Ransom or something. And then I got my chassis draws. And then I saw with the chassis draw set, I got my bonus engine. Shout out to Dave Wecht here and to Yuna to bringing it up. Dave Wecht found it. Yuna won, nearly won the French Open with it. So I played it too. And with this engine, I do have the option to push so many bodies on the field without playing into Fuvalos that I just give him, I think, 8 cards or something. But he has so many cards that do the same. So yeah, the Maliss disrupts are hard to play through because I can remove his Vanquish Soul engine, and if I keep his Vanquish Soul engine removed, he cannot kill me against 2 Bystials, and if I can get my turn back, I 100% win the game.
Yeah, I mean, especially because, like as you mentioned, we also felt like the game changed because of the draw, the cards that have been drawn with Jessica, which I think helped you out a little bit in this specific situation, and I think you must be satisfied, especially with the end field. Like, right? I think it's...
Yeah, that was the first off. I've never played this end field before, but I thought about the Ediknister tower, the Link 5 and the SP, because I wanted to be able to negate a Izuna or the Vanquish Soul hand trap.
Yeah.
To then still be able to do SP through Nibiru, so I can save my negate, because my Maliss monsters always come back, that doesn't matter, but I need to keep my level 5, Link 5 Ediknister monster so I can still negate. I forgot its name, to be honest.
Yeah, no, it's okay.
It's just a Link 5.
Yes, that's it. But also, I really felt like that from this point on, it was really like, it could have been either way, because like, I think your starting hand was very good. On the other hand, Josh had a lot of cards because like you committed, but I think in the end, like I just want to show you the last clip I have. It's essentially when you seal it out, because I think Josh really tried to navigate it through this, but it was not enough.
Yeah, the moment he lets me go Access Code, I win the game, but he has to let me I think maybe he could have won if he used the Vanquish Soul card that he had on field. What's his name again?
Which one? Sorry.
The little 5 Vanquish Soul he put to graveyard with the Jerusalem.
Yeah,
if he used that, he maybe could have won it, but that's his only chance. And if he lets me summon the Access Code, I immediately win, because he cannot stop the Jerusalem and his Vanquish Soul engine is dead again.
Yeah. I think that was a good catch.
Pretty much my only plan this game was remove the Vanquish Soul engine, because if he doesn't have the Vanquish Soul engine, I can win against the K9 cards with my board. But yeah, the problem there is the Vanquish Soul that I don't want him to have, so I removed every Vanquish Soul card on site.
And I think it worked out incredibly well. So, I mean, once again, congratulations, because 7-0 record, long day, 2 more to go.
Yeah.
So hopefully you can advance with the full record. So fingers crossed for it, and hopefully we will get the chance to see you again on stream during, you know,
we'll
the YCS. We will see.
First off, I have to do good and not lose the next two.
So far, so good. So we will see. But again, congratulations. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you.
Take a small break before the next round, and don't go anywhere, because we will be back soon with Route 8 from YCS Bologna.